Hello, folks. It's a beautiful day out, and I am in the process of writing some letters to the editor down in Arizona. And it seems that only Fox News was willing to talk about the real cause of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry's needless death. It is the same mentality which allowed the successful attack on the USS COLE, which they weren't allowed to have loaded guns on the boat to repel the craft that came up and blew up the coal. And also our lack of real military presence in Somalia when our Black Hawk helicopter was taken down and our guys were dragged out and tortured to death and torn apart by the mobs down in Somalia. And it's just this politically correct thing. It's like at our nuclear research center down in New Mexico. The attorney general didn't want to have, I think it was the attorney general, didn't want to have different colored badges of security because it made certain people feel bad. A lot of Chinese felt bad that they couldn't get into the real heavily secure areas because their badge was obviously that they weren't allowed there. So what they did, they made all the badges look the same. Isn't that wonderful? But in any event, what's very interesting, and my brother Robert told me about this, is that apparently our agents were using beanbag guns, non-lethal beanbag guns, when they ran into those 5 people who had AK-47's. And I think we did have some of our guys did have regular um, munitions in terms of weapons that would be lethal, but the first round was supposed to be non-lethal, and they shot these beanbag guns, and that's when these people opened up with full force with AK-47's and killed Border Patrol agent Brian Terry. Now, the whole problem is we have this mentality of being politically correct. We're not protecting our borders. People are coming in droves. And in case you haven't watched the news, when you have a lot of people in droves, they seem to be able to rule the day. They seem to be able to take over Egypt. They seem to take over Libya. And when you have enough people who are disgruntled in the United States, and it doesn't have to be a majority, it can just be a lot of active people, they can storm whatever they want. And apparently the government's supposed to acquiesce and just give up and say, here, take it over, because obviously you know what's best for the country. Now, obviously, in Egypt, the people were taken advantage of, very poor. In Libya, it was even worse. But you have to wonder what's going to happen in Taiwan. When France right now is talking about a no-fly zone in Libya because of the poor oppressed people. What's going to happen to the people in Taiwan when China wants to take it over? You think that's going to be bloodless? And do you think anybody will step to the plate and say, China, go away? No. They have a fourth-rate nation down there, Libya, with a couple of weapons, and everybody's trying to play big time that they can lick this guy. They could have licked him a long time ago. Ronald Reagan launched an attack into there to kind of settle the score for the Pan Am flight, which the terrorists blew up. But anyhow, getting back to this beanbag politically correct mentality, we don't have a border in Mexico. And those 2 border guards who were thrown in jail for shooting the drug pusher in the ass, were finally let loose by Bush, only because they're going to get another trial. And I think George Bush and Sutton and Gonzalez, they probably all would have gone to jail for what they did and the pressure that was put on him to keep the drug lanes open in the United States. It's not just the Republicans, it's not just the Democrats, it's just the whole thing. We are forced to put up a show that we really give a damn about what's happening. Probably the people who are paying us off are making us go after the guys who aren't paying us off. It sounds kind of extreme, but it's the only thing that kind of makes sense. I remember when George Bush was pissed off at the people taking their vacations to protect the borders. He was really livid. He was really, really upset. He just said, we're not into vigilantism here. Well, they actually took away some of the farms of the people who were coming across and gave it to the people. They sued the people because they were trespassing. And I don't know exactly if they might have used a little excessive force, but it just seems to me that when someone's breaking into your house, the person breaking into your house should not own your house just because you used excessive force. But that's exactly what happened down in Texas. These farmers on the borders of Texas and all these other states, Arizona, New Mexico, they are taking a lot of heat from these people trying to force them off their land in the United States, and the United States government won't back them up. And so this whole beanbag philosophy, where we're shooting beanbags back at these people trying to sneak across the borders, this is an act of war. You're talking about, I mean, in World War II, if you came across the United States and got caught without your uniform on, you were considered a spy and you were shot summarily. So in any event, I really feel bad about that needless death of that border guard. A lot of people are dying as a result of our lackadaisical approach to things. Remember, they were big on civilian courts on these terrorists. Well, the guy got off, I think, with one charge, one out of, I don't know, 300 charges. I forget what the heck it was. And remember, they were going to get rid of Guantanamo, Gitmo, or whatever. All of a sudden, that's okay now. So we should all put up the white flag and say, hey, let's get this thing over with, because we might as well surrender to the terrorists. We might as well surrender to the Mexicans. Why not? I mean, why are we screwing around? I mean, the cost it takes to process these people coming across, I mean, would break us. It's almost like the death penalty. The reason why you can't execute people is because the cost of appeals is so high that it's cheaper to keep a person in prison at $30,000 or $40,000 a year for life than it is to have them executed. So that's where we are today as a society, and we can't afford to be at that kind of thing. Now, I totally believe in DNA testing and to eliminate any possibility of a wrong decision, and there shouldn't be any money that's spared in that regard, which there is apparently. Go figure. But this whole concept of having beanbag guns, our guys equipped with beanbag guns like they're dealing with little children, in the candy store. This is not the candy store. They're taking over our borders. They're coming through like a sieve, bringing in drugs, killing our people. And yes, the people here were using drugs. Thank you very much for keeping the demand up. You should be proud of yourself that you can't get high just on living life and doing positive things. You got to get stoned. But that's your problem. In any event, that's all I have to say about the border guard, the beanbags, and that only Fox News seems to have covered this. Now, I looked up all many reports on YouTube on this incident, and only Fox News mentioned the beanbags as the reason why these guys were overwhelmed. And that should tell you something about the news. And yet, I know a lot of people, when you mention Fox News, they get really pissed off. And it doesn't matter what Fox News says. It doesn't matter how accurate it was. It doesn't matter how informative it was, and how no other news media was telling the people what was going on. They still hate Fox News. Now, is that a form of mental illness or what? You tell me. Take care and enjoy the day.